Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
Many centuries before the birth of Christ, India had a highly evolved bureaucracy. Kautil's Arthashastra provides details of a complex machinery of administration that included tax collectors, conservators of forest, provincial governors, and ministers. Emperor Ashok had inscribed in stone an edict that informs us, "I have instructed my officers, the Amatyas, to ensure the welfare of the people and consider this their duty and priority." This remained the basic framework of succeeding empires till the medieval period. The Sultanate period and the reign of the great Mughals introduced significant changes and specialized functions for different officers. However, it was only with the advent of the British colonial rule that government officials began to impact on the lives of the common people. At the topmost echelons were members of the heaven-born ICS recruited through a highly competitive examination in England. They provided a small elite cadre of general-purpose administrators who served in subdivisions in the districts and the courts including high courts. In course of time, the ICS came to be recognized as a steel frame that kept intact the structure of the empire, who explored the hitherto unseen countryside, collected vital information about the land and its people, and though motivated by the interest of the colonial rulers, inevitably touched the lives of the people and at times ameliorated hardships. Independence of India brought far-reaching changes in its wake. The bureaucracy had to face unprecedented and complex challenges. Partition triggered violent communal riots, and providing relief and succor to the traumatized refugees occupied government officials at all levels. They rose heroically to the occasion. This was followed by the integration of princely states in the Indian Union. Once this task was accomplished, only then could the founding fathers of our nation devote their attention and energies to reforming the bureaucratic structure. It was well understood that government servants would now no longer be agents and instruments of foreign masters but become public servants. They would be the catalyst of change, striving to meet the aspirations of millions of people, most of them impoverished, deprived, and disenfranchised. The employment into higher ranks of government service was entrusted to the Federal Public Service Commission during the period of British rule. The members of Constituent Assembly debated the type of civil service the newborn republic would require and provide for a Union Public Service Commission that would ensure that the best qualified candidates are selected for every job. Provisions in the Constitution ensure the independence of the UPSC.
It was established in 1926. When the Government of India Act 1935 came, they called it Federal Public Service Commission, and it continued as Federal Public Service Commission till India became independent and we had our own constitution. Under our constitution, it became a constitutional body in 1950 when the constitution was framed. I think sections 315 to 323 of part 14 deal with Public Service Commission. It is supposed to advise the government on all matters of civil services and posts.
It was Sardar Patel who best articulated the vision for the civil servants for an independent India. The recruitment for the first batch Indian Administrative Service was made through the UPSC, and the probationers were trained in Metcalfe House in Delhi. Subsequently, the training academy was shifted to Mussoorie, where it was located in a sprawling compound in a charming complex. After the old structures were destroyed in a fire, spanking new buildings were commissioned. Ever since, it is at the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy at Mussoorie that all recruits to the All India services are trained. The foundation course provides grounding in the Indian Constitution, social and political system. The academy has state-of-the-art classrooms. Teaching is stimulating and interactive sessions are lively. During their stay at the academy at Mussoorie, the young probationers share their lives and develop unique companionship that lasts lifelong. It has a well-stocked library that provides congenial atmosphere for all-round growth. Not only do they get to appreciate the glorious diversity of India, but also gain valuable insights into the requirements of different branches of civil service. To join the prestigious IAS, Indian Administrative Service, and other All India services is the dream of many aspiring youngsters. Tens of thousands of youngsters prepare arduously for the competitions every year.
Cases for which this premium money can be utilized by the government.
All civil services of the central government, they are covered by the UPSC, and also certain aspects of the defense services. In fact, as far as the civil services are concerned, the UPSC conducts 10 examinations for the civil services and 4 examinations for the defense services. So UPSC has been selecting the correct type of officers which are required, the Group A services and the Group B services, which are required for the administration of the country. And the basic aim of the UPSC has always been to select the best material in an absolute transparent manner, totally based on merit. Merit has been the prime consideration.
The Union Public Service Commission consists of a chairman and 10 other members chosen from various fields. Civil servants belonging to the All India services recruited by UPSC provide a unique bond that unites this diverse land from Kashmir to Andamans, Kutch to northeastern region. Coming from different socio-economic backgrounds and regions, they cast here in the same mold and acquire an all-India perspective. Natural calamities, an earthquake or tsunami have tested their mettle in recent years. Disaster management has posed a great challenge. When the tidal wave of tsunami devastated large parts of Andaman Islands and the coastal areas of Tamil Nadu, government officials deployed there acted swiftly and selflessly. Relief and rehabilitation of unfortunate victims was possible due to the sensitive and speedy intervention by civil servants. The healing touch provided by them resulted in life returning to normalcy.
Everybody rose to the occasion and contributed his might to the relief operations. With the result, now I can safely say that we have now almost forgotten that trauma. We have come past it, and we are looking forward now to development of the Andaman Nicobar Islands.
New well-designed houses have been constructed at higher and safer places. Different departments of the administration coordinated their activities for this purpose. The local administration has focused and given top priority to employment generation for the tsunami affected. Tsunami had laid waste fertile land. Alternate arrangements have been made for the cultivators dislocated from the land. Cultivation of medicinal plants and herbs and horticulture are being actively promoted. Hospitals have been upgraded to cope with any future disaster. New schools have come up to enable the children to resume their education. Today, as one travels through territories of Andaman and Nicobar Islands that bore the brunt of tsunami, one is amazed what the healing touch of the civil servants has accomplished. The story was similar in Nagaipatnam, a thriving port in Tamil Nadu. Hundreds of fishermen out on the sea that night lost their lives. The port was destroyed beyond repair and had to be rebuilt practically from scratch. Roads and bridges connecting the port to the city also required extensive repair. Today it looks like a state-of-the-art port. Assistance flowed in generously in the aftermath of the tsunami, but the challenge was not to let it go waste. Vigilant civil servants monitored its dispersal and proper utilization. A compassionate and a responsive administration has ensured that these children lack nothing what a loving parent could have provided. Well-equipped hospitals have come up where none existed. Many families had to live without a male breadwinner. Women survivors had to assume this role. The administration made arrangements to train them for gainful self-employment. Forest officers spend most of their time deep inside the jungle and have to be vigilant day and night to protect the animals in their charge. They have to be constantly on guard against dangerous poachers. Conservation of fragile environment is no less daunting a challenge. All officers of the Indian Forest Service are recruited through the Union Public Service Commission. A young lady forester inspired the local villagers and extended a helping hand to reverse the process of eco-degeneration in the overburdened Valley of Flowers.
I had to work with two different strategies in both the national park. One was to bring an end to a very strict conservation regime and attain the livelihoods while opening the park of the local communities. And in the second case, all that I had to bring was the lost pride in the people and rebuke them from within to join hands in the conservation mission. While following the middle path, we addressed this situation. Then community also, they said that okay, if you are with us, then we are with you. So that way the whole initiative started.
Villagers, once they realized that the forest officer was not an adversary but a friend, were galvanized into action. They voluntarily organized into groups to clean up the piles of garbage. They became aware that the officials of the forest department were there to help them, not to harass. Once the environment was cleaned, tourists began returning. The ravaged Valley of Flowers was slowly nursed back to good health and has regained its pristine beauty. Those recruited for the Indian Police Service moved to the Vallabhbhai Patel Police Training Academy at Hyderabad. Officers recruited through UPSC examination for other paramilitary forces also receive specialized training here. The passing out parade is a proud moment for all the probationers. Law enforcement and investigation of crimes are the traditional roles of policemen. They stand as sentinels at frontier outposts guarding the border and ensure safety and well-being of the citizens. Today, these men in khaki perform diverse duties from management of crowds to battling terrorism. Assam Police, along with the Central Police Forces, has fought an invisible enemy for years. For more than a decade, they have been exposed to insidious attacks and calamity. This has not deterred them from providing an unstinting support to the victims of violence.
We have now been carrying out counter-insurgency operations in this state almost for the last 30 years. And over a period of time, the people also, they get fed up of these kind of duties and they demand peace, non-interference in their life. So the challenge for us is how to carry out these duties as well as to see that the common citizen is not harassed.
The Ashwas project, launched by Assam Police, unveils the caring, human face of such civil servants in one particularly difficult theatre. It was a sensitive policeman who thought of organizing camps where the people could interact and get over their personal traumas and tragedies, bond as a community, and combat terrorist violence by articulating their aspirations for peace. Psychologists were called in to counsel disturbed individuals, and those who had lost a beloved family member could find reassurance that they were not alone. Eminent folk performers and theatre artists were roped in to encourage and inspire the participants. Senior police officers mingled freely like beloved family members with commoners. Medical relief camps were an integral part of the Ashwas get-together. Street plays were utilized to communicate the message in a memorable manner. Ashwas undoubtedly has gone a long way towards restoring people's trust in police and rekindling new hope for future. An important feature of Ashwas's work is to provide scholarship to children whose parents have been victims of terrorist violence, as well as for those killed in police action. This unique innovation on part of the Assam Police has ensured a better future for future generations. Post offices arguably were what registered government's presence at the grassroots level. Officials in this department ensured that the common man could always remain in touch with his near and dear ones. With passage of time and steady incorporation of fast-changing technology, its identity too has changed. Age of digital telecommunication has dawned, an exciting transformation is underway. Technology has revolutionized the way the civil servants work. Innovative practices in e-governance have made it possible to bridge distances, reduce response time, and render the functioning of the government transparent. Land records are much more than title deeds of ownership. These are for the poor peasant his lifeline. For millions of Indians, the most harassing experiences in their life are related to accessing land records. The state of Karnataka was no exception.
As young collectorate officers, we had worked as subdivisional magistrate and assistant commissioners, and I saw how a village official used to trouble the citizens in even giving simple things like land records. And I realized that if I have to make a difference, I have to do something which I should be proud of myself, which I should say that in coming generations I made a difference.
The civil servant decided to apply information technology to put in place a system transparent, efficient, and responsive to the needs of people. Over 20 million land records were digitized, involving over 6 million farmers, covering all the talukas in the state. This has provided great relief to the hitherto helpless villagers, and access to higher officials has greatly enhanced the credibility of the civil servants.
IAS as a institution has lived up to the expectation क्योंकि people have faith in it. आप आज भी जाएंगे कलेक्ट्रेट में तो देखेंगे कि जो आदमी जिसे कहीं कोई सहारा नहीं होता है वो कलेक्ट्रेट पे इंतज़ार कर रहा होता है कलेक्टर साहब का, और उसे ये पूरी उम्मीद होती है कि कलेक्टर साहब अगर उसकी दरख्वास्त ठीक से देख लेंगे, उसकी बात सुन लेंगे तो उसका काम ज़रूर हो जाएगा। तो ये जो उम्मीद आदमी की है जिसके सहारे वो आता है कलेक्ट्रेट पे, मेरा ख्याल है वो शायद सबसे बड़ा सबूत इस बात का है कि ये इंस्टीट्यूशन आज भी जो उम्मीद है उस पर कायम है और अपना काम कर रहा है।
Project Lokwani, initiated in Sitapur district of Uttar Pradesh, illustrates what can be achieved by an individual even when supported by a small team. Lokwani, literally the voice of the people, seeks to give people a voice, providing them with an opportunity to make their complaints heard, making the administration more responsible and responsive. Officials have been trained to use computers, maintain a database of grievances and their redress, keeping track of complaints online. Any citizen can fill up the form, pay a small fee, and demand to be informed about the response.
If you randomly pick up any grievance, the complainant, if you see his name, would undoubtedly be a person like Ram Dulare, Ram Khilawan, Data Deen, all rural names you will find there. You will never find names like Rajiv, Alok, Pramod, Vivek, Santosh, urban names.
The district magistrate and other officers hold regular meetings. Follow-up is considered as important as registration of a complaint. There is a phone helpline that enables citizens to keep track of their complaints even without visiting the Lokwani information kiosk. The Lokwani experiment has been extremely successful and immensely popular. The state of Punjab is the granary of the nation. The Punjabis are earthy people, bold and innovative. The people's expectations are constantly rising. They are impatient with bureaucratic delays and tardy delivery of services. Application of information technology and the introduction of e-governance has met with an enthusiastic response. Suvidha centers are single-window, user-friendly outfits that have helped reduce jostling crowds in government offices. Taking a token and filling up a form is all that is required to obtain the information. From voters' identity cards to driving licenses, most of the time-consuming and cumbersome tasks can now be efficiently completed at the Suvidha Center. Registration of NRI marriages is an important service rendered by the Suvidha Centers. This facility reduces the risk of fraud and exploitation of innocent persons. India is renowned for the exceptional skills of its doctors and surgeons. Many cities today boast of ultra-modern super specialty hospitals that match the best anywhere else in the world. However, it is ironical that hundreds of millions of Indians still remain untouched by the great strides made in the years since independence. Only 2% of our qualified doctors practice in the villages, where over 70% of the population dwells. Even in the cities, hospitals are hopelessly overcrowded and working under unbearable strain. There was an urgent need for an innovative experiment and improve healthcare in the state of West Bengal. A unique effort was initiated by the people from Kharagpur IIT, Webel and civil servants. A modest beginning was made with regular telephone lines at the School of Tropical Medicine. A nodes and hub model was put in place, connecting some of the remotest and most backward districts with super specialty hospitals in the state. The telemedicine project, undertaken by West Bengal administration, shows the way in which scarce resources can be optimally utilized and vast distances bridged through imaginative application of technology. A hub and spokes model was put in place to reach out to the far-flung nodes. Isolated districts of the state were taken up under this project. Sir Neel Ratan Sarkar Hospital and other major hospitals of the states are now linked with the nodes as referral centers. Patients' medical records, diagnostic reports can now be easily transmitted to specialists far away, and if need be, the patient can be seen by them via video conferencing. The trains connect far-flung corners of India, spanning the geographical distance and emotional gap between regions at the periphery and the center. Indian Railways are the second largest railroad network in the world. Hundreds of thousands of passengers and millions of tons of freight are carried by trains every day. The unseen civil servant who manage rail traffic take great pride in their work. The building of the metro in the national capital dramatically showcased their skills and commitment to the skills. There is hardly any sphere of our lives that remains untouched by the civil servants recruited through the Union Public Service Commission. Healthcare, infrastructure, education are all part of administration. Public servants are conscious of their responsibility to deliver social justice, cutting the red tape and eliminating corruption. Reaching out to the last person in the line. Building the nation and nourishing the roots of democracy continues in the 21st century.